Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Sheridan, I work here at the Long Beach Public Library, and today we're going to do some Picasso style art, as you can see here. Before we get started though, if you haven't signed up for summer reading just yet, be sure to do so. There is still some time. You just have to go to longbeach.beanstack.org, create your account, sign up for the challenge, and then you can start reading it up, completing activities, and writing book reviews to earn points, and those points will get you into drawings for gift cards or for family passes to the aquarium, all kinds of different stuff, okay? If you have signed up for summer reading, be sure to enter the code LAVENDER into the activities tab of your challenge so that you can get a point for watching and crafting with us today. Okay, so today we're gonna make some Picasso style art. You can see here that I made a self-portrait and I look kind of like that kid Sid from the Toy Story movies, the kid that was a little mean, but that's kind of the name of the game, okay? You're supposed to look a little different. So before we get into that though, let's talk a little bit about what made Picasso such a renowned and well-known artist. So Pablo Picasso is a painter that lived from 1881 all the way to 1973. He was from Spain, though he lived most of his life in France, and he left behind a huge legacy. He co-founded a really important artistic movement called Cubism with a French painter named Georges Braque. And Cubism is an artistic style that tries to simplify everything down to its most basic geometric forms. So you take a subject, a person, an animal, a place, and you bring it down to squares and to triangles and to rectangles and to ovals to try to represent it from different perspectives and different times and different spaces. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of intense too. For example, in this painting by Picasso, we see a woman from a single perspective, right? We know that we're looking at her from a perspective, she's looking back at us from that same perspective, and we see everything related to that vantage point, to that perspective. But in this painting by Picasso, you can see that he took multiple perspectives. He painted a section of her from this side, from this angle, from up here, from down here, from all over the place, even from behind. And he pushed them all together to create this image of a woman from multiple perspectives, probably from different times, and to try to give us the impression that people exist in multiplicities, which means that there's multiples of everything, time and space across, right? And that's one of the things that made his work so special. Another thing is that he was able to look at the very essential forms of things and make them more abstract. So what do I mean by that? For example, here he took a bull, right? And he drew all of these. He took a bull and he represented it as almost as lifelike as possible. And then little by little he went through and started pulling out all of the things that weren't that necessary. And so you end up with a line drawing, really just a line that gives us the impression of a bull. So he's able to reduce things from really, really complex to really, really simplistic, geometric, and you just get the impression of that kind of thing. I wouldn't say he's an impressionist though, but that's kind of the idea. So those are some of the things that made Pablo Picasso such an influential and important painter in his time and even now. I mean, you look at art all over the place now and you can see how it's influenced by Picasso, his multiple perspectives, his line, his whole idea basically of what art should be. Okay, so now that we have talked for a while about Picasso, let's go ahead and get crafting, get a little closer, and I'll show you what you need and what we're gonna do today, okay? Okay, so if you were able to pick up one of the Picasso kits from one of our libraries, you'll have a couple of things in your kit. The first thing is gonna be a roll of Picasso sheet, and what it has a bunch of different noses, eyes, and mouths and ears that you can actually use to make your Picasso portrait. So each of these is set up with a number to roll, 1 through 6. You also have a die. And so this die, you're gonna roll it, you got a 6, that means you have to do this ear, or this eye, or this nose, or this mouth. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a self-portrait or a portrait of another person, however you want, and you're gonna leave some things up to chance, mainly the ears, eyes, nose, and mouth. Okay, so we're gonna use these. You also got a picture frame printout of some kind. This is gonna be for you to set up the portrait inside of the frame or outside of the frame. It's your portrait, do whatever you wanna do. You can also flip it over if you don't want the frame at all and you just want a nice white piece of paper, okay? You also received a pencil, a sharpener, and some crayons. I've got these fat crayons, but you might have gotten some skinny ones to get your portrait moving. Normally, you would want to use a pencil for this, for the beginning part to just draw this on so you can erase in case you make a mistake or whatever you want. I'm going to use a marker just so that you can see what I'm doing on camera nice and easily. And yeah, So you can use any of this stuff. In case you want to use other stuff to color in instead of crayons, you can also use markers, or even if you have some paints laying around, you could use watercolors or acrylic or whatever you've got really, okay? So first things first, I'm gonna go ahead and start a self-portrait of myself. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna roll first for my ears, okay? So I have to roll twice. I got a 4, which means that I'm gonna draw an ear like that. And then I got another 4. So I have 2 of these oval ears. So first off, I'm gonna draw my head shape. And I have kind of a big head, so I'm just gonna do like a shape like that. And then I'm gonna bring it down like this. You know, that seems like a pretty good head for me. And then I've got these 4 ears, so I'm gonna draw one like that. Right, that seems pretty like it. I'm gonna draw the little connectors to my head. And then the other one, I'm kind of just gonna draw it like right on my head like that. So I've got ears and my head. Okay, next up, let's do my nose. So I got a 5, as you can see. And so that means that I'm gonna do this nose. So I'm gonna try to copy it as close as possible to this sheet. So it looks like I've got the form there, and I need a couple of nostrils. Okay. Next up, let me do my left eye. So I got a 3, which is this one there. So I'm gonna see if I can try to get as close to that. That's kind of a hard one, huh? Okay, looking kind of Picasso-y already. And let's do my right eye. That's a 3, it's the same one. But you know what, I'm gonna re-roll because I don't know if I want 2 of those eyes. I got a 6, which is this one. And notice what I'm gonna do here, because this eye that is from the 6 is a totally different perspective than the eye that I do from the 3, if you'll notice. So if you look, the eye that's from the 3 is from a very forward perspective. It's when you're looking somebody head on, right? But this 6 eye is from a profile perspective. It's from when you're looking at somebody from the side. You can see that this is the front of their eye, this is the side of the eye. So normally their head would be like this, and their ears would be here, and their mouth would be over here facing that way, right? So this is kind of like a roll of Picasso kind of deal, because we're putting in different perspectives onto this self-portrait. So you're looking at somebody from the side, from the front, maybe even from the back, all at the same time, which is kind of the style of Picasso. Okay, so let's do our mouth. Let's see, I got a 5. So that means I'm gonna do this mouth. And this mouth is actually from the side as well, if you notice that. I'm actually gonna flip it though, so that we're looking at it from the other side. So I'm gonna go down like that. And I'm gonna go across, and then I'm gonna go up like that. Okay. So I've got pretty much all of the main elements here, right? So now it's time for me to finish this portrait with all just the little different things that I want to do. So I'm going to go ahead and keep drawing. I'm going to decorate my ears. I'm going to add some hair to myself, maybe a mustache, a shirt, you know, a head, maybe even a background. At this point, once you've gotten to this place, the rest of it is gravy. The rest you can color however you want. You can draw however you want. You can add whatever details you want. It's all you. So you go ahead and keep on drawing. If you need more time to get the rolls, feel free to do that. You can pause the video and I'll just keep drawing, and then you can hit play whenever you're ready. Another thing that you can do in case you want this particular style, you can put this up against a window and then trace it. If you really want it to look exactly the way it is here, but that's not necessary. It's your own self-portrait, so as long as you want to do it however you want to do it, it's all good. So I'm going to keep drawing, and I'll talk to you when I'm done here. Okay? Okay, so I think I'm done with like the drawing portion of this. I've got a couple of details in here that'll work. And now it's really just time to color. So as you can see the way that I did with this other self-portrait, you know, I made myself blue just because, you know, there's no reason you can't be any color you want. I was blue in this one. I've got orange lips. I don't actually have those things in real life, but you know what? It's a self-portrait. You can draw yourself however you see yourself, and that's just fine, and that's all good. So if you want to make yourself blue, purple, pink, fuchsia, magenta, it's all good, okay? So we can go ahead and color, and yeah, we'll meet back up when we're done. All right, y'all, I think I'm done. This is a portrait of myself, a la Picasso. That's French for in the style of Picasso. Yeah, so yeah, keep working on yours. If you need more time, you know, it's all good. You don't have to finish by the end of this video. And then once you're done, you can actually put it on your fridge or put it on the wall or give it to a friend, you know, whatever you want. Okay, everybody, so we're pretty much done with our Picasso art. You can see that I still have to color in the frame of mine, but yeah, we're pretty much there. If you still need time to work on yours, take as much time as you need. This is really for you to explore a different way of seeing the world and of seeing what art could be, really, right? If you want books or information on Picasso, on George Braque, on Cubism, on artistic styles, artistic movements, artistic mediums, hit us up at the library. We're here to serve. We have plenty of books, digital resources, and even, I guess, craft kits, right, that we can give you. So thanks for joining us today. If you still haven't entered the code LAVENDER, it's in the bottom corner here, into your activity tab of the Beanstack Challenge, so you get a point for watching and crafting with us today. Yeah, what else do I have for you? Oh, now that you have this, you can actually draw portraits of anybody in your life, your caregivers, your friends, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins, your dog, really anybody. And you can use this die for a bunch of different things, you know, artistically or not, games and whatnot. Yeah, so enjoy your self-portrait, enjoy drawing portraits of others, and always remember to keep on reading. We'll see you next time.